Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher. His personal notes, a collection that has survived millennia, aren't just musings of a bygone era, but are startlingly relevant advice on how to harness the power of self-discipline amidst the noise of life. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of Stoicism, exploring its principles not as abstract concepts, but as practical tools for living a more disciplined, fulfilled life. Stoicism teaches us how to turn adversity into advantage, emotional turmoil into tranquility, and life's unpredictability into a wellspring of strength. Whether you're struggling with daily stresses, seeking inner peace, or looking to elevate your productivity, understanding the Stoic way of life offers profound insights. If you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Also, don't skip any part of the video, because if you're here, you're different from the majority. So consider yourself an exception and stay tuned for the unique insights we'll explore together. Number 1. Self-discipline starts with finding your purpose. At the heart of Marcus Aurelius's philosophy is the belief that self-discipline begins with finding your purpose. But what does it really mean to find your purpose? It's about discovering what truly matters to you, what drives you at your core, and aligning your daily actions with that deeper calling. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about living in agreement with nature, which in Stoic terms means understanding your role in the larger scheme of things and acting in harmony with your virtues. For Aurelius, the purpose wasn't just a lofty ideal, but a practical compass that guided his every decision, from the mundane to the monumental. He believed that understanding one's purpose is what pushes you out of bed in the morning, ready to face the challenges of the day. It's what keeps you steadfast when temptations beckon you to stray. And it's not about grandiose achievements or external accolades, but about fulfilling the duties that life has laid out for you, performing each task with commitment and integrity. In a modern context, finding your purpose can often feel overwhelming. We live in a world saturated with choices and distractions that can lead us away from our true paths. Here is where Stoic wisdom is not just helpful, but essential. Stoicism teaches us to peel back the layers of superficial desires and fleeting emotions to reveal what is truly essential for our well-being and growth. It encourages us to ask ourselves, what is truly worth my time and energy? How can my actions today contribute to the greater good and to my personal development? As we explore how to apply this principle in our lives, think about what you are naturally drawn to, where you find deep satisfaction, or what challenges you are motivated to solve. These are clues to your purpose. And once identified, the Stoic practice of daily reflection becomes invaluable. By continuously aligning your actions with your purpose, by saying no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what does, you cultivate the self-discipline necessary to live a meaningful and impactful life. Number 2. Count on yourself. When Marcus Aurelius wrote about self-discipline, a recurring theme in his reflections was the importance of relying on oneself. Count on yourself is not just about self-reliance, but an integral part of the Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of personal accountability and independence. This isn't about isolation or rejecting assistance from others. Rather, it's about recognizing that the ultimate responsibility for our actions, reactions, and personal growth rests within us. In Stoicism, the idea of focusing on what is within our control is paramount. Aurelius often discussed the power of the self in confronting whatever challenges life throws our way. By counting on ourselves, we tap into our inner resilience and strength. This principle teaches us to trust in our abilities to navigate through life's uncertainties and adversities. It's about building confidence not through arrogance, but through competence and a thorough understanding of one's own capacities and virtues. Number 3. Show up every day. Marcus Aurelius consistently emphasized the power of persistence, of showing up not just in body but in spirit every single day. This practice is not about monumental efforts unleashed sporadically, but about the quiet, steady dedication to daily tasks, which collectively forge a disciplined life. For Aurelius, showing up every day was synonymous with the Stoic idea of living in accordance with nature. To him, nature demanded of us not just to exist, but to actively participate in life, to contribute to the world through our actions, no matter how small or routine they might seem. Each day presented itself as a new arena, not for grand battles, but for proving one's commitment to their principles and duties. It's in the consistency, the everyday effort, where character is built and tested. Number 4. Practice voluntary hardship. This Stoic practice, strongly advocated by Marcus Aurelius, is about much more than just making life intentionally difficult. It's about preparing oneself for the unpredictabilities of life, strengthening one's resilience and deepening appreciation for what one has. Marcus Aurelius, like many Stoics, believed that experiencing discomfort voluntarily helps to fortify the mind against times when life might force discomfort upon us. Number 5. Practice dichotomy of control. This principle distinguishes between what is and isn't within our control, urging us to focus our energy solely on the former. This seemingly simple concept can profoundly transform our approach to life's challenges, reducing anxiety and fostering a deeper sense of peace and resilience. So, what exactly is within our control? According to Stoicism, it's primarily our own actions, reactions, and judgments. Our thoughts, our will, our responses. These are the arenas where we have agency. Everything external, be it the weather, the actions of others, or global events, lies outside our direct control. Never play the victim. This concept involves a profound understanding of personal responsibility and the Stoic commitment to self-mastery. Rather than succumbing to a victim mentality where one sees themselves as a passive recipient of life's hardships, Stoicism encourages us to seize control over our perceptions and reactions. This empowerment is central to the Stoic belief that our happiness and peace of mind are determined more by our internal state than by external events. Number 7. Practice delayed gratification. Marcus Aurelius championed this principle not just as a personal discipline, but as a pathway to greater freedom and satisfaction. In the Stoic view, mastering one's impulses by delaying gratification isn't about denying pleasure, but about achieving a higher form of fulfillment that is aligned with one's values and long-term goals. Delayed gratification in the Stoic sense involves a strategic postponement of immediate desires to gain more significant and enduring rewards. It's about making choices that might not offer instant satisfaction, but lead to lasting well-being and personal growth. This principle is particularly relevant in our modern culture of instant everything, where the ability to wait, to hold off for something better, is a rare and valuable skill. For Stoics like Aurelius, the practice of delayed gratification was also about maintaining mastery over one's desires. He believed that being enslaved to fleeting pleasures could lead to a loss of freedom, in that one becomes captive to their whims and impulses. Instead, by exercising restraint and choosing our actions based on reason and foresight, we cultivate a life not just of temporary pleasures, but of lasting tranquility and contentment. Number 8. Ignore naysayers. This concept goes beyond merely not listening to negative feedback. It's about cultivating a mental resilience that allows you to remain steadfast in your convictions and focused on your goals, even in the face of doubt and skepticism from others. For Stoics, the approval or disapproval of others is outside one's control, and therefore not something to rely on for personal validation or guidance. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about focusing only on actions and opinions within one's own control, emphasizing that true peace comes from within and cannot be shaken by external judgments. This Stoic indifference is not about being dismissive of others, but about maintaining an internal locus of control. It encourages us to filter out noise that does not serve our higher purposes or align with our values. In practical terms, ignoring naysayers is crucial in our modern world, where opinions are plentiful and criticism is often just a click away. It involves recognizing that while constructive feedback can be valuable for growth. Number 9. Find wise people to emulate. This concept is rooted in the belief that much of our learning and personal development comes from observing and reflecting on the lives of those who have mastered virtues we aspire to develop. Emulating wise individuals isn't about copying them, but about learning from their example to enhance our own character and judgment. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor, often wrote about his admiration for the qualities of others, both past and present. He saw the emulation of these figures as a way to internalize their strengths and virtues. For him and other Stoics, wisdom wasn't just theoretical knowledge, but a practical guide to living well, which could be best understood through the actions of those who have applied these principles effectively. In the context of Stoicism, choosing whom to emulate is about recognizing those who embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These could be historical figures, contemporaries, or even characters from stories and literature who demonstrate qualities such as resilience, ethical integrity, and rational thinking. The key is to look for individuals whose lives provide a roadmap for facing challenges with grace and determination. Number 10. Honestly review your day. This practice isn't merely about recounting events, but involves a profound and reflective examination of one's thoughts, actions, and responses throughout the day. It's about discerning whether these behaviors aligned with one's values and Stoic virtues such as wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. This introspective process is crucial because it serves as a feedback loop that helps one become more conscious of their actions and decisions. For Stoics, the purpose of this daily review isn't to dwell on mistakes or to indulge in self-criticism, but to observe and adjust. It's about learning from each day's experiences and using that knowledge to refine oneself continuously. Marcus Aurelius used this technique as a way to ensure that he was not only performing his duties as an emperor, but was also growing as a philosopher and human being. Incorporating this practice into modern life can be incredibly beneficial. It encourages us to end each day with a moment of quiet reflection. Unfortunately, the art of silence has been lost in our busy world, where noise and talk are always present. But what if the times we choose not to speak were just as strong as the times we do? How often do we stop and think about what our quiet means? Stoicism is an old theory that teaches people how to control themselves through reason and emotional strength. It's a great way to learn when not to speak. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, said, "It's better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." This wise saying brings up a basic question. How many times have we felt bad about saying something in a hurry or out of anger? Stoicism doesn't just tell us not to do things. We owe it to ourselves to use silence as a tool for growth and peace. Imagine facing life's challenges with the calm confidence that your silence speaks louder than any words could ever hope to. Stoic philosophy teaches that silence isn't just the absence of speech, but a deeply felt response that has been carefully chosen. It is an active, powerful force, a plan that can help ease disagreements, protect us from harm and help us understand. But when exactly should we embrace silence together? We'll find out in 9 key times that choosing silence is not only smart, but also life-changing as we go deeper into these lessons. Think about how practicing Stoic silence might change the way you deal with others and your own peace of mind. What if you could end a heated fight with a calm, measured silence instead of harsh words? What might a quiet pause help you say about your feelings and thoughts? Come with us as we dig up the strong times to shut up and let the knowledge of Stoicism guide us. Are you ready to learn more about the deep knowledge of Stoicism? Please leave a word before you start your journey. Number 1. When being criticized unfairly. According to the Stoic philosophy, being unfairly criticized is a unique chance to become stronger and show integrity. The main ideas behind this old knowledge. The ruler Marcus Aurelius once said that if something outside of you bothers you, it's not the thing itself that's hurting you, but how you think about it. He also said that you can change how you think about something at any time. Insight says that what bothers us about criticism is not the criticism itself, but how we see and respond to it. Think about this. How might changing how you see criticism make you stronger? Can you think of a time when staying calm in the face of unfair criticism changed the outcome? For example, if you are leading a project at work and your boss criticizes it harshly, a Stoic response would be to calmly look at the feedback and find useful insights while ignoring any negative information that isn't based on facts. Number 2. Stoic silence in the middle of boasts. Imagine you're at a networking event where a co-worker is bragging too much about their recent raises and fancy lifestyle. You might want to counter their bravado with your own accomplishments. Stoicism teaches us the power of restraint. If you choose quiet, you keep your cool and let other people's words show you who they are. This way, you can save your energy for deeper conversations. This method not only protects your honor, but it also makes you look like someone who is sure of their own achievements and doesn't need outside approval. In this theory, silence is not a sign of passivity. Instead, it is a sign of strategic silence that shows knowledge and confidence. Another wise Stoic says, "He who does not wish to be outnumbered by greater benefits should not return one benefit with another, he should return many at once." In real life, this means that you should not respond to empty boasts with words, but with the quiet grace of your actions and the quality of your character. How often do you find yourself responding to someone else's success story with one of your own? What might happen if you instead chose to listen, fully acknowledging their accomplishments with a nod or a smile, while keeping your attention on your own virtues and goals? Accepting Stoic quiet in the middle of boasts is a way to live a life not marked by competition, but by happiness and inner success. It creates an atmosphere where one can thrive peacefully and successfully based on genuine self-worth rather than comparative measures. Please think about this lesson and use what you've learned in your daily life. How could accepting quiet make your life and relationships better? Please write about your ideas and stories in the space below. Let's work together to make each other's lives more peaceful, happy, and successful. Number 3. When dealing with anger. When we're angry, it can feel like a wild storm that can sweep away all reason and calm. But in the middle of this storm, Stoic philosophy offers a safe place to be, a moment of silence that helps us deal with these strong feelings. Epicurus, a famous Stoic figure, said to keep quiet most of the time and only speak when you have to. Now imagine a day at work when a co-worker's mistake causes you hours of extra work. Your first instinct might be to lash out in anger, but what would happen if you chose silence instead? By not reacting in anger, you give yourself time to think about the situation more objectively. This pause can stop the conflict from getting worse and lead to constructive solutions instead of heated arguments. Think about it. How often has reacting quickly in anger made you think about what could be different if you took a moment to calm down before speaking? Marcus Aurelius, another well-known Stoic, gives advice in his writings. How much worse are the results of anger than the things that make people angry? This thought makes us think about what happens after we get angry. Most of the time, the effects of an angry outburst are worse than the thing that made us angry in the first place. Think about Nelson Mandela, a famous leader who, even though he had been jailed for years, decided to forgive his abusers instead of getting angry. This decision not only improved his own life, but also led a country to reconciliation. For example, using silence when you're angry doesn't mean hiding your feelings. It means choosing a response that is in line with your best self. This practice not only improves your own peace, but it also leads to better relationships and a more successful life. As you deal with the inevitable frustrations of daily life, remember that silence can be your sanctuary, a place where wisdom rules. Adopt it, and you may find that the quiet response is not only the most profound, but also the most powerful. Anger is a normal feeling that everyone has at some point in their lives. On the other hand, anger that isn't under control can hurt relationships and your own health. Number 4, silence in the middle of false rumors. When people talk to each other, stories are like leaves caught in a gust of wind. When these rumors aren't true, they can cause harm and confusion. Stoic philosophy gives us a strong answer. Quiet. Think about the story of a teacher in a small town who was wrongly accused of misconduct. As rumors spread through the community, the teacher chose not to add to the heat by denying or explaining what happened. Instead, she relied on her honesty and integrity to stand firm. Number 5. How to deal with loss. How do you deal with the utter silence that follows a major loss? Loss is a common human experience that often leaves a void filled with sadness and confusion. But Stoicism has a unique way of dealing with pain. For example, C.S. Lewis, a famous author who wrote about his grief after losing his wife in the book A Grief Observed, says, "The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before." This is a very Stoic way of thinking. Stoics believe that our experiences are part of a bigger natural flow of life, and that loss and love will always go hand in hand. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, has a lot to say about this subject. The day we worry will be our last is actually the birthday of eternity. Number 6. Navigating ignorance with Stoic grace. Have you ever met someone whose actions show they don't understand, but whose belief is as strong as if they were an expert? Even though this situation is upsetting, it's a good time to practice being patient. Grace Galileo, the famous scientist who pushed heliocentrism during a time of strong geocentric beliefs, is a great example of how to deal with ignorance. Number 7. How to deal with rumors. There must have been many times in your life when you were the subject of a story, hearing whispers getting louder as they went around. It's a normal human reaction, but keeping quiet can change the situation. Think about the story of a community leader whose dedication to protecting the environment led to false rumors about her personal gain. Instead of addressing each rumor, she stayed focused on her work, remembering Marcus Aurelius's words, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who hurt you." This leader's decision to remain silent and continue her advocacy let her actions speak louder than any rumor. Her behavior shows an important Stoic concept. Number 8. When confronted with injustice. Stoic philosophy teaches us to deal with life's problems with fairness and inner strength. This is especially important when we face unfairness. As the wise Epicurean said, "Bear and forbear." This maxim tells us to go through hard times without complaining and forgive others for their mistakes. Nelson Mandela fought against racism in South Africa in a way that made this theory very clear. Mandela's long time in jail could have made him angry, but he came out as a supporter of peace and unity, showing a deep, stoic resilience. Mandela didn't just stand there and let injustice happen. He chose to focus on healing and unity instead of getting even. This choice shows a key Stoic principle. Our biggest power lies in our ability to choose how to react to outside events. How might our own lives change if we followed Mandela's lead when it comes to the unfair things that happen to us? Number 9. How to handle insults with Stoic wisdom. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." This maxim should wake us up every time someone insults us, and it also gives us a deep way to deal with insults. Be quiet. This insight tells us that we can choose how to react by choosing silence and understanding instead of conflict. Mahatma Gandhi, for example, faced insults and resistance in his fight for Indian freedom, but he didn't answer with anger or insult. Instead, he chose to be silent and understand. Gandhi believed in ahimsa, or pacifism, which is similar to the Stoic way of life. Joyful peace. Gandhi's reaction to verbal and physical attacks was to keep quiet. This often made his enemies less dangerous and won support for his cause among the public. How might taking a similar stance when you are insulted change the dynamics of your interactions with others? What could you gain by keeping your cool instead of responding with words when someone attacks you? You give yourself room to act with purpose instead of impulsiveness. This stern practice not only keeps you calm, but it also makes you look like a leader who is above everyone else. Small disagreements that echoed Marcus Aurelius's, "How much worse are the results of anger and grief than the things that made us feel those ways?" Think about this as you deal with the problems that come up every day. Think about what this stern silence could do for your life. Could it be the key to a better, more successful life? How might your actions affect how other people deal with problems? As we've looked at the 9 pivotal moments to embrace silence, from dealing with talk to facing loss, Stoic advice has shown us a way to peace and understanding. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be one." In the spirit of his words, let us practice the deep strength that can be found in silence by deciding when to speak and when to listen. This will help us live a peaceful, happy, and kind life. Feel free to use these Stoic principles in your everyday conversations and see how the power of thoughtful silence can make your life better. If you found this talk deep and useful, please click the like button. Leave a note with your thoughts, and don't forget to share these deep philosophical ideas with everyone you know. If you're new, subscribe to our channel to get more deep lessons in Stoicism that will help you grow. See you in the next lessons.